Hi, excuse me. This is the Sunday school lesson for August 11th, and this is going to be the video for all the groups. They are going to read the same story. This is Elijah and Naboth's vineyard, page 105 of the Shine Bible. The youth and elementary kids will use this Bible, and then I've made a copy of the page for the pre-K group right here. I did it in black and white, thinking they could color this. It's a pretty picture and lends itself to kind of adding color to it, so that's an option for an activity. The story revolves around jealousy. So this is Naboth has a vineyard, and King Ahab wants the vineyard, and Naboth says, no, you can't have it. It belongs to me and my family. And then there's this big conspiracy by the king and his wife, and they gather everyone around and convince the community that Naboth has said evil things against the king and God, and they all end up stoning him to death, and Ahab takes his land. And then in the ultimate act of poetic justice, God talks to the prophet Elijah, and Elijah confronts Ahab and says, basically, we know what you've done, and you're gonna pay for that. So in the pre-K group, if you don't want to talk about being stoned to death, that's understandable. You could just say they stoned him and maybe injured or something. Like, you don't have to go there if you don't feel it's appropriate for that group. But the idea is that they took something that didn't belong to them, right? Because they were consumed with greed and jealousy. So there's a lot to talk about there, obviously. And in the lesson that I will, of course, send you, page 69 does a great job of questions that I think both groups would benefit from, even the little ones. So we can go over those questions after the story's read. In Peace Notes on that same page, right underneath, it said, King Ahab wanted what Naboth had and would stop at nothing to get it. Envy can blind us to just and compassionate choices. Talk about habits that can help each of us feel less jealous, right? Have children talk about things they're thankful for, share them with the group, in terms of talking about, hey, we don't have to worry about wanting. Let's be thankful for what we already have. So that can be a discussion at any level, age level, I think. And of course, what they're talking about will vary. Then, for the pre-K group, I have printed out these pages from the leaflet. I have about 5 copies, and you probably won't need that many. So what they're going to do is cut out these what's called stickers, but they're not stickers, they're just paper. So they'll cut them out and then glue them on the land where it's appropriate, and there's words and shapes, so it should be easy for them to match up. And this just talks about the Israelites had been living in this land, and one of Naboth's reasons for not giving up the land was that it was his belief that you were breaking God's law if you gave it up. And so the land was basically a gift from God. And so we're kind of looking at this map and understanding all the natural resources and historical locations of Israel. So that might just be interesting overall. For the elementary group, and if you want to do that in the elementary group with the youth kids, that's fine too. It seemed like it would lend itself more to the pre-Kers. For the elementary group, they suggested playing a cooperation game. So I actually picked a game, and I've made a scan of this, and I'll send it to you, from a different book that's about cooperation. And so you can start at one end of the classroom and work to the other, or you can go outside and do this and have like a starting point and an ending point. But each of the children will have basically balancing a book on their head and trying to get from point A to point B with that book not falling. If the book falls off, they are frozen. It helps them. So they freeze in place, and then when a team member, and we're all in one team, it's not really a race, it's just this game isn't finished till we all get to point B together. So a team member comes over, and without their book falling off, has to help this person get the book back on their head to get to the end. I see this, maybe at one point they'll all be frozen, and then teachers can help them get their books back on their head. But the idea is learning to help each other, and it's because it's not about who's going to get there first. Nothing good happens until you all get there together and work together to make it happen. But the instructions will be in there for you as well. Let me know if you have any questions, and if there's anything else you want to do for the lesson, that's great. I'll have the materials for this stuff in the classrooms ready to go. Thank you.